managerial accounting, absorption costing versus variable costing. Now let's do a little summary of what we've seen in this series of videos comparing unit product cost and net income under absorption costing versus variable costing. First of all, in scenario A, we produced 9,000 units and we also sold 9,000 units. So the number of units produced equaled the number of units sold. Now, under absorption costing, net income was 240,000. And also, under variable costing for scenario A, net income was 240,000. So we can summarize a little units relationship to net income. If units produced equals the number of units sold, then absorption costing net income and variable costing net income will be equal. Now let's look at what we saw under scenario B. Now in scenario B, the number of units produced was 10,000 and the number of units sold was 9,000. So the units produced was greater than the number of units sold. Now, absorption costing net income in scenario B was 285,000. But because variable costing net income is not changed by changes in inventory levels, variable costing net income in scenario B was still only 240,000. So when the number of units produced is greater than the number of units sold, absorption costing net income will be greater than variable costing net income. Now, we didn't do income statements for scenario C, but let's review what scenario C showed us. In scenario C, we produced 8,500 units and we sold 9,000 units. So given what we see here, with these relationships between units produced and units sold and net income under absorption versus variable costing, what do you think would be the relationship between absorption costing and variable costing net income under scenario C? I feel like Blue's Clues here. You're right. Under scenario C, what we would see is that absorption net income would be less than variable costing net income, because the number of units produced was less than the number of units sold. And what happens under absorption costing in that situation is the fixed overhead that was deferred from a previous period gets released into this period's net income or cost of goods sold, thereby reducing net income when the number of units produced is less than the number of units sold. But again, under variable costing net income, in scenario C, since we still sold 9,000 units, variable costing net income would still be 240,000. But absorption costing income would be something less than that 240,000. Next video, we're going to reconcile the incomes under the two methods.